One day away from yet another 7:30 p.m. Eastern time kick. Notre Dame on the road facing another top 25 opponent. And this team is just number 25 in the coaches and AP poll, but it's an undefeated Louisville team coming into this matchup 5-0. We got Tim Hyde to give us his three keys to the matchup and his score prediction. Of course, folks, hit that thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for much more content. Head to blueandgold.com for all things Fighting Irish football and recruiting. Okay, Tim, against Duke and Ohio State, me and you would agree that Sam Hartman wasn't the problem at all and played a pretty decent game. But we haven't seen the production from Hartman that we saw earlier in the season. That's why key number one, it's a get-right game for Sam Hartman. Go out there and light up that scoreboard.
Yeah. Well, number one, they played, Ohio State and Duke, which are just tremendous on defense. And I think some of the issues we talked about way back in August with the wide receiver position obviously hindered them here during those, two big clashes in a ranked team. So now you got Louisville, and another get-right game for Hartman is his last trip to Louisville last year had a lot of turnovers. They lost, I think the game was 48-21. I know he threw 3 interceptions, had a handful of fumbles as well. It was just a bad day for Wake Forest. And Sam Hartman was not good. So he's going back to the scene of the crime where he was at, the same time last year. So it's a big game for Sam Hartman and for Notre Dame. And a little tidbit, this is 3 straight weeks playing ranked teams. This hasn't happened, Mike, since 2003. So it's been a long time since we've seen that. And obviously SC's, the next game after that. So when you say a get-right game, it's just Notre Dame's a better football team than Louisville. I've broken down Louisville. I've seen them. I think Hartman could have a big game and go out there. He probably knows the past, have some fun, sling that ball around, and hopefully Coach Parker lets him release some deep passes in this game. But I'm excited to see Hartman on the road for the second straight week.
For him to have success, Tim, key number 2 needs to happen. His offensive line needs to block for him. Offensive line play does travel, except for, I guess, when you have false starts. But other than that, that's plagued Notre Dame some this season, need this offensive line play to get on the road and play well in the state of Kentucky.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the previous week against Ohio State, they were probably the key reason why the game was the way it was. They played so good against Ohio State, limiting those guys to basically nothing up front. They played outstanding the week before the offensive line. And the O-line has been good. They're limiting sacks, limiting tackles for losses. Their rushing is way up high. Estime leads the country in rushing yards. So there is a lot of positivity that has happened. Obviously, at times against Duke, they struggled. Take that for what it was. But when it mattered most, Mike, they gave him protection, right? And they allowed him to go on that 4th down scramble. And then the next play, just a mauling power O block that went for the game-winning touchdown for Audric Estime against Duke. So I love that. Offensive line play travels. These guys got to it's really going to be on them. How they block and how they protect for Hartman is going to be the big storyline for this game. But, yeah, O-line U needs to step up on the road and go take care of business against Louisville.
You touched on this in key number 1, but with the heartbreaking loss against Ohio State, then you go on the road, and then you have that thrilling come from behind game against Duke. And Tim, in our post-game show, I remember we talked about, man, those 2 games felt so similar, Ohio State and Duke. Pretty sure Marcus Freeman talked about that in his press conference on Monday, by the way. And then you go on the road to play a Louisville team. This is going to be their Super Bowl. And then what do you have to do right after that? USC at home, and the defending Heisman champ, who's also the leader in the clubhouse to win that trophy again. There's just, we could have added here, Tim, looking ahead, you've got to play where you are, take this thing 1 week at a time.
Hey, I totally agree. And I think that's a good thing that Louisville is ranked. Louisville is undefeated. It's a good football team. They're playing Plummer for the 3rd straight season, the 3rd different school, which is hilarious to think about. Coach Braum, heck of a football coach, really good football coach who has had big upsets when he was at Purdue back in the day. So you cannot look ahead. Number one, you can't look ahead because you've already got a loss. So this team's goals are in front of them, making a playoff push, working their way towards that Final Four. It's right there. Their schedule is tough as could be. they take care of business moving forward, good things could happen for this football team. So I don't think they're going to look ahead because of Duke, Ohio State, two heavyweight battles. You're right. They both, I mean, Ohio State got the big pass on third down, right? That got them down there. Hartman scramble. Duke drops 8. Notre Dame dropped 8. And you only rushed 3 on key moments. So, yeah, very similar games. No looking ahead. And it goes back to obviously Hartman as well, having played at Louisville. So I know he mentioned that in his post game, like, hey, we're going to a place that's going to be loud and raucous and crazy. So I think Notre Dame's going to be ready to roll and have some fun on Saturday night.
All right, let's get into your Notre Dame versus Louisville score prediction. Of course, as we always do, we'll take a look at the Vegas odds here. And our friends over at Odd Shark, I say friends, they should sponsor us. We always show their video or their stuff on our video. But anyways, they have Notre Dame 36, Louisville 31. Odd Shark has been very much on the high end of things in their predicted, score algorithm that they come up with. For the Notre Dame's last few games. And then, they've been low-scoring games to the Irish. The spread consensus right now, or I should say the spread is at -6.5 for Notre Dame. So that's almost a touchdown favorite on the road. Over-under looking at 54 right now. So the prediction has Notre Dame winning, Louisville covering the spread, and then the total going over. So, Tim, let's hear from you. What is your score prediction and why?
My score prediction, I'm going to stick with the one I did in our preseason. And the reason why I'm doing that even more so after these last 2 games is I think Notre Dame's exhausted. I think they've played 2 heavyweight, physical, 60-minute football games to the very last play. They got to win by 1 this week, get out of there, get ready for USC. And in my preseason, I predicted 31-30. I thought this was going to be the wildest game of the year for Notre Dame. I predicted a low-scoring game against Ohio State. And you take away a couple fourth down stops by both those teams. In this game, Ohio State Notre Dame is a couple plays away from really being 31-30 when you look at that game. So I'm going to go Notre Dame. This is the ultimate survival game. One of the hardest things to do in college football and the NFL is to win that second road game 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to go Notre Dame 31, Louisville 30. That was my prediction. I'm only predicting this full-on survival mode. I think we're going to have a wacky night in Louisville. Go Irish. Win by 1 has got to be the motto. Get the heck out of there.
If this is the survival game, then what was Duke? I mean, that was really a survival game, and a come from behind one at that.
Yes.
That Duke game was so strange. I don't know, Tim. I'd like Notre Dame to win, but just this one just feels funky. But then also Louisville has not looked great at times in their road to be 5-0. So I like Notre Dame. But that's going to do it for this video, folks. Notre Dame at Louisville, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The game is on ABC. Hit that thumbs up, as always, if you have not done so yet. Subscribe to our channel. Of course, if you are not, what are we at, Tim? 23-ish thousand subscribers, whatever we're at. Blessed to have all of you with us, and hope this video we pick up some more subscribers so you can check out all the good videos, content that we have here on our Blue and Gold YouTube channel. Appreciate you all, and as always, we will catch you next time.